Have you ever thought a 5-cent coin could make you a millionaire? What if I told you that there are Jefferson Nickels from 1949, 1980p, and 1986 that are now selling for up to $2 million? These are not just pocket change. They're pieces of history, loaded with minting errors and secrets only a few collectors know. Keep watching, because what you're about to discover might just change your financial future forever. In the years following World War II, America was rebuilding, and so was its coinage. The Jefferson nickel of 1949 came at a time when the U.S. Mint was still facing material and staffing shortages. That year, 3 mint marks were used. No mint mark, Philadelphia; D, Denver; and S, San Francisco. However, not all coins were created equally. One of the most valuable versions of the 1949 Jefferson nickel comes from minting errors involving repunched mint marks, RPMs. Especially the 1949 D over S and S over D errors. These coins appear to have 2 overlapping mint marks because the die was reused incorrectly, a rare occurrence that makes them incredibly desirable. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not properly aligned, resulting in an unusual shape. These rare 1949 errors can sell for $5,000 to $25,000, but if combined with full steps on Monticello, the sharp, visible lines on the building on the reverse, values can skyrocket. A well-preserved full steps 1949 DSRPM has reportedly sold for over $80,000 in auctions. Condition plays a huge role. A 1949 Jefferson nickel graded MS67+ with full steps can demand 6 figures if it includes an error. In fact, a few examples found in old collections have fetched over $200,000 at public auctions. Numismatists continue to scour coin rolls for this year because so many rare varieties are still being discovered. And while most people ignore nickels entirely, those who pay attention know 1949 is anything but ordinary. Unlike older coins, the 1980p Jefferson nickel might seem too modern to be rare. But this is where things get interesting. 1980 was the first year the U.S. Mint used a P mint mark on nickels minted in Philadelphia. Yet some coins slipped through the cracks and were struck without a mint mark at all. This minting oversight has created one of the most controversial and valuable Jefferson nickel errors of the modern era. Known among collectors as the 1980 no P error, it's extremely rare, and examples in mint state condition, MS65+, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Even without the mint mark error, 1980p nickels with die clashes, struck through grease, or off-center errors are being sold at premium prices. One verified 1980p Jefferson nickel with an intense die clash, showing remnants of Jefferson's face on both sides, sold for over $15,000 on eBay. A pristine, full steps, no mint mark 1980p Jefferson nickel, verified by third-party grading companies like PCGS or NGC, could easily command $100,000 to $250,000 from collectors seeking rare transitional errors. These coins are becoming harder to find, especially in circulation. But don't underestimate this year. Sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest impact. By 1986, coin production in the U.S. was streamlined, and quality control was much stricter. However, a batch of 1986 Jefferson nickels struck in Denver and Philadelphia showed significant errors, the most famous being major die breaks and retained cut errors. A die break happens when the die that strikes the coin becomes cracked or damaged, leaving a raised, irregular line on the finished coin. Some 1986 nickels show gigantic die cracks across Jefferson's profile or the Monticello building, creating a dramatic and easily visible error. Even more valuable are the 1986 nickels with retained cuts, where a part of the die broke off but continued producing coins, leaving strange blobs or missing parts in the design. These errors, especially if paired with high-grade full steps, have sold for over $50,000. But the real jackpot came when a 1986p Jefferson nickel with an extreme reverse cut and full steps was auctioned for a shocking $1.1 million due to its condition, rarity, and error severity. This coin is now considered one of the top 5 Jefferson nickels ever discovered. To date, collectors are actively seeking these 1986 errors, and values continue to climb. If you have a 1986 nickel, examine it closely. Check for raised lines, odd blobs, or design misalignments. What you think is damage might actually be a minting error worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.